Steve and Stephon Marbury gave me the most problems. Gave me the most problems. I love Stephon Marbury.
Yeah, big bro.
Yeah, Steve was just a headache because he could do it. He could do it all
Without being fast.
Didn't have John Stockton mode. You know what I mean? Just
Smart.
right here, just
smart.
You know what I mean? Just know how to get it done. You know what I mean? Steve was excellent, man.
The 6'3" point guard was drafted with the 15th overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft by the Phoenix Suns. There wasn't a tremendous amount of hype surrounding him upon entering the league, as some described him as a poor man's John Stockton. Another reason for his lack of hype was because he was somewhat overshadowed by the overall talent in the 1996 NBA draft, which has a legitimate argument for the claim of the greatest draft class of league history. Nash was going to have to prove himself in order to earn his minutes, a task that would be difficult considering how he spent his first 2 seasons in Phoenix behind great established point guards like Kevin Johnson, Sam Cassell, and Jason Kidd. In his first 2 seasons, he only managed to put up very modest numbers in his few minutes. It wasn't until the summer after the completion of his second season that the Dallas organization recognized his potential and traded for the 24-year-old guard. Nash immediately became a starter for the Mavericks, but his game was still developing slowly to go along with the fact that he was dealing with injuries over the next 2 seasons. It wasn't until his 3rd season with Dallas that Nash began to break out as a premier point guard, as he put up around 15 points and 7 assists on 48.7% shooting. He was decently close to his first 50-40-90 season, something that would go on to become a theme of his career. With his solid form and with his high-arcing jumper, he established himself as one of the most reliable and efficient shooters of the game. Over the next several seasons, his game would slightly improve in Dallas, and with the help of Dirk Nowitzki and Michael Finley, the Big Three Mavericks were consistently making noise in the Western Conference playoffs, making it as far as the West Finals in 2003, where they were eventually eliminated by Tim Duncan's Spurs. Heading into the summer of 2004, Nash had put up solid numbers in his recent years with Dallas, but he wasn't quite in the conversation yet of the best point guards of the entire league. Nash was also 30 years old and entering free agency. Typically, an NBA player's best years are behind him by the time he's reached his 30s, and Mavericks owner Mark Cuban had already committed to pay a significant salary to players like Anton Jamison, Michael Finley, Antoine Walker, and Dirk Nowitzki. Cuban offered Nash a 4-year deal that would pay him $9 million per year, but Phoenix offered him a 6-year deal for $63 million, which Cuban was not willing to match. So it was back to the Phoenix Suns for Nash, who were just coming off of a 29-53 season. This is where the star point guard's career would completely take off, as it was the perfect setting for his skill set and style. The new head coach of the Phoenix Suns was Mike D'Antoni, who loved to play a high-scoring and up-tempo style, which highly emphasizes perimeter shooting. Under D'Antoni, Nash and the Suns became famous for their 7-second offense, where the goal was to take each shot attempt within the first 7 seconds of gaining possession. Transition basketball is where Nash excels, as his ability to make quick decisions significantly improved his assists per game within this offense. With supporting talent like Joe Johnson, Sean Marion, and Amari Stoudemire, Nash led Phoenix to a league-best 62-20 record, which was a 33-win improvement over the previous season. On the year, Nash put up 15.5 points and a league-leading 11.5 assists on remarkable all-around efficiency. With Nash being Phoenix's only major acquisition, he improved the team from the bottom half of the league offensively to the best in the entire league. This impactful performance earned him the 2005 League MVP award. He continued his terrific play all the way into the Western Conference Finals, where they were eventually eliminated by the defensively superior San Antonio Spurs. The following season, Suns star Amari Stoudemire was lost for the season due to a knee injury, and shooting guard Joe Johnson had been traded away in the offseason. So the short-handed Suns were not expected to be anywhere close to contenders, but that's when Nash showed his ability to make his teammates better, and actually improved upon his MVP numbers from the previous season, as he led his Phoenix Suns to an improbable 54-28 record. He also did it while achieving a 50-40-90 season, which only 8 other players have done in NBA history. More on that later. Thanks to his incredible play, and thanks to the way he led his team to exceed expectations in a tough Western Conference, Nash was named the league's MVP for the 2nd straight season. Somehow, Nash once again pushed his Suns all the way to the Western Conference Finals, where they eventually lost in 6 games to the Dallas Mavericks. But this wouldn't be the last time that Nash would lead his team to be serious contenders. After another impressive regular season and a near third straight MVP award, Nash led his Suns into the postseason with a 61-21 record, and waiting for them in the West semifinals was their rival, the San Antonio Spurs. This series is still considered as one of the great what-ifs of NBA history. Nash was having a great series, and the Suns won the fourth game, which tied the series at 2 games apiece. But unfortunately, it came at a major cost. Late in the fourth game, in a one-possession situation, Robert Horry gives Nash a very hard hip check, which results in an altercation between Raja Bell and Horry, and several players leave the bench. But the altercation between Bell and Horry is not the part that potentially changed the course of the series. Due to the league office being a bit paranoid shortly after the Malice at the Palace, the league had extremely harsh punishments for any players who left the bench during an altercation. Among those players in this specific situation were key members of the Suns roster in Amari Stoudemire and Boris Diaw. For this simple move towards center court, both players were suspended from the crucial 5th game in Phoenix, a game that San Antonio would win, and they would eventually win the series and the championship as well. If these silly suspensions never took place, then Steve Nash may have a championship ring on his resume, but unfortunately, that championship would never come. He's also among the most efficient players the game has ever seen. He has the second greatest free throw percentage in league history behind only Steph Curry at 90.4%. He also had 4 seasons with 50-40-90 percentages, which is twice as much as the nearest competitor of league history, which is Larry Bird. But wait, it gets even more impressive. Not only does Nash hold the record with 4 50-40-90 seasons, but from the 02-03 season through the 2012-2013 season, Nash averaged 50-40-90 percentages. That means for an entire decade, Nash did what only a handful of players have done for just a single season. It's not like he was a completely perfect player though. Among Nash's weaknesses was his defense, as he was a little too slow with his lateral movement to keep up with the quicker point guards in the league, especially during his days with Phoenix and beyond. With that being said, he's one of those players who would have loved to have played in the modern NBA with all the transition basketball and three-point shooting. Since his retirement, Nash has since stated that he wished he had shot more three-pointers during his playing days, and he certainly could have. One of his listed weaknesses on the day he was drafted was the fact that he's a bit too selective with his shots, and that trend continued throughout his NBA career, which played a large part in why he had such incredible efficiency percentages. All in all, Nash is one of the great point guards of league history, and in my opinion, from a team impact standpoint, he certainly earned his 2 MVP awards. Let me know in the comments section if you think Steve Nash is underrated, properly rated, or overrated, and do you think he was the right choice for his 2 MVP awards? Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.